I'm Bhavidhir V. Bhardwaj. Welcome to episode 12 of Genesis of Tomorrow. The following is a conversation about drone technology, avionics, and more with Mr. Amritansh Bharti, who is working towards scaling his startup Vayu-G, a drone delivery system to automate aerial generation. Also, folks, 86.1% of you watching this have not subscribed yet. So, if you were able to derive even the slightest bit of value from our show, please go ahead and subscribe so that we can keep improving the quality of the episodes and keep on bringing such wonderful guests over for you. And now, without any further ado, let's get right into it. Enjoy and thank you. Right, so it's rolling now. First of all, welcome. Thank you for being here. I have a few basic topics that I would want to talk to you about explicitly, but at any point in time, if you feel like you want to probably go on a tangent and talk about some other things that might be related or even unrelated but might be of value to the listeners, you have the full liberty to do so. Like, we can direct the conversation any way you like.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
so let's start with probably one of the more, okay, how would you lay a foundational basis for somebody who is not very up to date with the current advancements in drone technology? Where do we stand in regard to in regard to our ability to harness drones to do stuff?
Uh-huh. Thank you for first of all, thank you for having me. Regarding the drone industry and the how a noob can get into it and get a knowledge of it, one need to go to the major company that are involved in it, like what they are doing, and apart from that, the regulation that government is building up, like the drones industry is way ahead of the regulation that government had right now, or they are building on to it. The regulation is way back in 1980s, and the drone industry is way forward to 2100. So that's the like drone has already been advanced up to 2100, and regulation is putting it back. So like right now we have all the harnessing capacity. Like drone is at its peak in the wherever it is in the best form. Like suppose the China has the best drone. Like no one comes near to them. So yeah, that's the thing. I mean, one has to go to the top companies, and one must not ignore the Chinese drone company. They are the best in the world. Like what we are doing in India is that we are focusing on autonomous drone, like how to make the people go away from drones and let drone function itself. Like we are majorly focused on this drone delivery thing. We are into the intracity and intercity drone delivery thing. That is like your food delivery, that is the intracity things, and the your e-commerce thing, that is like the clothes that you order from Amazon or Flipkart or anywhere, or the courier company, that comes under the category of our intercity delivery things. So we are into that field, and we want no people there. Like no one, I don't want anyone to remotely pilot it. I don't want anyone to even abstract it. Like I want it to pick the product itself, deliver the product itself, even in the balcony, even in the precise locations, even in the remote locations of Ladakh or anywhere you say. So we are into that field, and we focus on autonomy. And similarly, there are other companies which focus on their defense and all. One need to go through the company, like the research paper that you read regarding drones are quite outdated. The real advancement is happening in the industry, and that too in the industry which is at the nascent stage. Like you see, lots of the drone startups, they are building great stuff. Like one of our competitor, that is Bonvi, they have built a drone which is completely autonomous for the delivery of something weighing 30 kg or 40 kg. They just tested in the Ladakh, and nobody knew about it. I mean, nobody knew that drone can be completely autonomous. So one need to go through the industry for the updation. And talking about the harnessing it, governments need to like bring the barrier down.
There are a few different paths that we can take and talk about specific topics from whatever you explained right now. But to start that journey, let's maybe talk about the key difference for an unmanned aerial vehicle and an autonomous aerial vehicle. Not only for definition's sake, but rather what technicalities goes into building them, the parameters that you have to look while you are creating the technology required, and how does it all work at the creators or the technicians part.
Uh, So, like one of the key parts in all of this, be it unmanned or be it the autonomous drone, or I mean the UAV, you have to do something that enables the governing body to track it down. That is the development of unmanned traffic management system, just like you have in the this airport thing, where they have this tracking system. I forgot that what's that called. That you find it at every airport. There is a big tower. I forgot the word, that keyword, but yeah, you need to have something that can manage that. You need to develop a robust UTM, that is the system to track down the drones. That is the basic thing one need to think about when it comes to the building the drone thing. Talking about the technicalities, I mean everybody is aware about this. Everybody know about this thing called Tesla car. Back then in 90, I mean back in 2000, you can't imagine car driving itself. Or that too on a road where there is a congested population, there is a congested vehicles there, and airspace is much free than road. They use the getting into technology, they use lidar. They use, I mean, one of the best thing about the Tesla is that they use RGB to determine the, I mean, obstacles. I mean, they do use lidar to confirm it up, but they use mostly the RGB. That is the one of the greatest advancement Tesla has provided so far. I mean, using RGB makes much more, much things simpler and less costly. So, I mean, what we are experimenting at Vayu-G is that we are, of course, using LiDAR at right now. Like we don't have a big team right now. We are just 20 people working day and night. So we don't have that much of technical capabilities where we can extend RGB to determine the distance. Now, when I say how RGB can determine distance, just imagine yourself at a place, and like you are in front of your laptop or any camera right now, and like by seeing your eyes, can you determine the distance, exact distance between you and your camera? Somehow yes, but precisely no. Now, what happens with the RGB is that it can't measure the distance matrix. Like human eyes overlap that and try to find out a approximate distance. But when it comes to building something that runs in binary, like 0 and 1, then you have to have something that is precise. Now, what we do is that we try to capture photos via different angle, and then we try to have a perceptions of what human eye could perceive it as, like what distances can perceive it as, what shape it can perceive it as, and then we try to confirm it via lidar. Now lidar confirm us with a precise one that take us to the something called like finding your obstacles. Now obstacles is one thing. Now you need to move that vehicle in that basic space. Now when it comes to aircraft, you have a man there, and you have a big system in aircraft where you can actually manually control all this mechanical part of aircraft, like the wings of it, like the flaps of or ailerons of it. When it comes to drone, you have limited number of things. Like if you have a quadcopter, that is easy to control. You have six or eight or four motors there, and you are controlling it down. You are just try to couple two motors together and give it a motion. But when it comes to the fixed wing one, which at Vayu-G we use it for the longer distance. Like the one that we have right now is a quite bulky one. It can carry 150 kg right now, but we are scaling up to 1000 kg. It is completely fixed wing, and it needs a forward direction to move. Like you can't control it much like in the right or left. because it doesn't have that aileron and all. Now when you try to put such system in a drone where it can control flaps, ailerons and everything, you need to have a great controller. Like right now we are using STM controller H7 series, and we so far we have not been able to. We literally try to find a path which goes straight. Like if you are delivering something from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, like I live in Jammu, we tested once from Jammu to Ladakh. We had to find a way out so that we can like the straight way out, the straight path for it. 'Cause, I mean, you know about the Jammu and Kashmir, the landscape, you have mountainous region, it is really hard to find. So you need to like you one need to integrate something, I mean a controller which can actuate so many of actuators at the same time to give it a control over its motion. At the same time you have to maintain the speed. So that's the one point where one need to work, that is the you need to build up a great controller. Now if you try to install something called GPU, like the Nvidia GPUs is there, which comes around the cost of 30 to 40,000. I mean, one need to make a drone cheaper than everything else. That's how it works. I mean, drone must be cheaper than aircraft, otherwise there is no use of it. So I mean, if you try to install GPUs sort of thing, it is a heavyweight first of all. Then it is I mean it takes time to process it. If you try to bring the best of the GPU, it will be, of course, it will weigh more than your payloads, and payloads are more important than your this what you call is a luxury of a drone, that is to control everything. But still, I mean, when you get into intracity, it is not a luxury, but it is basic necessities. So yeah, that's the one thing, that building a light GPU, building a robust microcontroller which doesn't fail. Like most of the controllers of, I mean, STM is the best in this race right now, and most of it fails at the critical time. Like if you try to fly via STM F7 series in the condition of Ladakh, I mean, we don't have a success rate yet there. Like we don't find it comfortable there. We need to have a STM series which cost us way more than what STM F series cost. So that is the second thing. Like you need to have a robust controller. Then coming to the cameras, you need to have a multiple cameras. You can't rely on one single cameras. I mean, you need to also mitigate that, like you are going in a forward direction, but what if a bird is coming from behind the drone which can go faster than the drone, and then you need to navigate it out and make the path obstacles free. So in that way you need to have a, I mean, 360-degree view of the 360 in both the way, horizontal and vertical way. I mean, something can come from downward or something can come from upward. I mean, you never know. Even in the rain kind of situation, when the big, I mean, I don't know what we call it in English, but in Hindi we call it Ola. When it comes, it does significantly impact the operations of drone. Like when we started, we started from like we had this problem statement in our class that you need to build a drone which can supply foods and basic necessity things to Ladakh. Like Ladakh people have this blockage of 5 to 6 months due to this ice thing, which closed down all the road except, like right now we have Zojina tunnel, but back then it was very hard. So we started from there, and that was the first challenge we got, that you need to navigate drone. To navigate drones, sorry, you need to navigate rain. To navigate rain, you need to have a multiple cameras that gives you multiple camera as well as the humidity precision that you need. You need to sense the humidity, the concentration of rain, the thickness of rain, like how hard the raindrop is hitting it. So that those are the things that you need to focus on, and especially in drone kind of thing where this propeller are way too short and you need to make it safe. Like I mean, in quadcopter you can't take a risk on even the single rotor of it. In hexacopter, or the more you goes, the number of copters you add, you can take risk. Like if there is a one failure, the other will work, but in quadcopter you can't take that risk. So yeah, so you need to have multiple cameras. You need to have a humidity sensors, which like I don't think there is any which can measure the precision of rain, the concentration of rain, and the concentration of icing. Like when the snowfall happens, there is, I mean, I was surprised to find that there is no such sensor which can actually measure the concentration at which the snow is falling down. I mean, yeah, I mean that's a very critical thing for the drones to operate in icy regions. So yeah, those are the following things that you need to specifically focus on. Apart from that, there are many mechanical things that one need to focus on, like the keeping up the system heated or keeping up the system cool down. Like when you are flying your drones to the regions like South India, you need to have your system cool down, because even the scooters like the electric scooter burns down, so drones are way more sensitive than the scooters, and you need to have a greater cooling system for that. So those are the key areas that we focus on. But at the YUG, we are not much into building sensors right now. We are much into making it like whatever set of sensors we can get from our suppliers, to making it work, to make the UAV autonomous. That's what we do at our place.
Okay, again, two, three things. But firstly, with this elaborate description that you were giving right now, something that I was compelled to think about was drawing a parallel between self-driving cars and autonomous aerial vehicles. And a thing that I felt was that self-driving cars, the number of variables that you have to cater to are relatively less than the variables that you would have to cater to while building or curating a drone. Because generally, currently, the usage of self-driving cars are on roads, pre-built roads. And then there are, you have to just make sure that there is a well built obstacle detection system, and then recalibration process. But with drones, as you mentioned, there are a lot of things that you have to make sure that you have to prepare for. Maybe the snow aspect that you were talking about, the rain aspect, the aspect of humidity and atmospheric pressure, all of it.
Uh-huh.
And drawing a tangent from that specifically, what are the things that this brainstorming session that you guys have to go through while maybe designing a project or a specific mission for a specific type of drone? What is that creative process, so to speak, where you break
So
down each and every step?
basically, we follow the normal aircraft design process first of all. Like we first lay out our the like what we want to build, the specification what we want to build. Then we try to go as dehati as we can go. We try to go as Jugaru as we can go. Like that's what we say at our place. Like when we miss deadlines, it is mostly because we try to do some Jugaru activities. Like you'll be surprised to find we use DHT, the normal sensor that you like second year guy in electronics or computer science people use in their lab to just run the Arduino or something. We use that thing in the initial days of our operation to count to measure this snowfall things. We were trying to use multiple one to get the data, to like we were using multiple DST, and then we will try to recalibrate all those data. And similarly for the precise delivery, like one of the tasks that we took back in the March of this year only was to how to deliver precisely like at your balcony. So what we try to do is like we create a board, we fitted four GPS into it, the normal GPS, the Neo 6M GPS that you get in the market, and we put it on drone. And then on the place where we are trying to deliver, like the balcony of the house where we're trying to deliver, we place the same board. I mean, and we what we try today is that like our GPS gives you a range of like accuracy of 6 to 8 meter of accuracy. Like wherever it is placed, it will give you a accuracy of 6 to 8 meter. So 6 to 8 meter is a great for a balcony. Like a balcony usually goes for 2 or 3 meter long maximum. That's if you are living in a hostel, you'll get a balcony of 1 meter only. So that was one thing that was challenging. So what we try to do is like we found out the coordinate of all the GPS, and then we try to find a medians of it. And in that way, at the drones for the body control, the attitude control of the drones. We use those four GPS, and at the delivery location, we use the medians of or those four other four GPS location, and in that we would try to deliver our product at the balcony, and it went successful. But it's a Jugaru one, so yeah, we go as the Hathi and as Jugaru to get things done, and then we try to convert into the industry standards of the I mean the drone and the web industry. We try to create a parallel system where we can systemize everything, and it won't look as Jugaru as it was when we are trying to build it.
I mean, I think, and this will resonate with a lot of builders and inventors and innovators. Jugaad would be the paramount skill that I would advise somebody to imbibe or build.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about
Because
it. Jugaad is the best.
sometimes, yeah, yeah, because sometimes people can get fixated on being perfect with their designing process and their ideation process. No, first you just have to you just have to make the thing work.
Exactly, you
Like,
need to
just
get
let
it
it
done.
function.
Yeah,
But
then you
okay,
can
you know
standardize.
what, yeah, yeah, correct. You can as we talked about it, once it's working, you can make sure that it looks good and aesthetically present, and it's got that finesse and all those stuff. But the step
I,
zero is to
I, have,
get
a- I,
it to
have a,
work.
I have an anecdote about it. I mean, it will be. I
Hmm,
mean, it
hmm, hmm,
is like I wish I could share pictures here, but I'll send you that.
hmm.
When we were trying to
Yeah.
build our first drone, when we were trying to build our first drone, I mean, what we were using is like we had less money, we had no fundings. Like right now, we have some sort of fundings, but back then we had no fundings, and it was all my savings that was going down. It was all my pocket money that my father used to give. So what I did is like I tried to build this skeletal of a quadcopter that is usually made up of carbon fiber or titanium fiber. We try to do it via plywood, and we used to do what is that we used to take a sandpaper and we used to try to polish it to reduce down the weight. And in the skeletal of a big craft like that was a 4 meter. I mean, we built it from the wire that you used to build your that is used to build your home while doing this what do you do? I mean, the way when you make a pillar, you use that wire to make the skeletal of that big aircraft, the big drones. So I mean, it was a fun. It took like it used to take like 40 to 50 kills in just 1 meter of segment, and it was a great Jugaru thing. It worked. We went to gave a presentation somewhere in Delhi, and we won the award. And it was like we did from nothing. Like we had nothing, and we did it just by doing Jugaru. And right now we have standardized it. Like we have a system where we do our skeletal. We just use that process. We change the materials. We brought the materials that is approved, that is okay to use, that is okay by DGC or any other authority. We check the design certifications, so that is okay to use. We use that material, but the process that it goes through is that Zugaru technique that we adopted back then. So it like it was fun story for me, and like I still laugh on it, but it worked. Yeah.
But again, that again goes on to uh, reaffirm what we were just talking about. It's very important to take that first step, even when you think you're not prepared, even when you think you don't have all the resources. Just make a makeshift prototype, a makeshift working prototype. That should be your main goal. But
Yes.
probably digging a little deeper into this phase of yours, tell me about how did you first get into this? Was it a given inclination that you had towards avionics, or was there some particular instance or inspiration that gave you that slight push towards this?
It's a long story and embarrassing story actually. So I was appearing for JE, and like at first I got NIT and I was disappointed with it. Like the kids in 12, like they are way too much into it. Like I want to have IIT, I want to have IIT. I never wanted to have IIT actually, but I wanted to show it to my father that I can have IIT. But when I got NIT, my father asked me to join it. But I said, no, I won't. But and I took a drop. I took a drop, and later in a month I realized no, I can't study same thing again. And specifically something that doesn't create excitement inside me. I'm a kind of person who likes to get things done. I can't study for something which doesn't give me anything in return. Like, yeah, right now I'm building drones and UAVs, and I'm studying whatever I'm studying. I'm getting it done. I'm studying it for some purpose, and I realize that purpose. Back then, when I used to study for JE, I never realized that purpose. Like, of course, the mathematics is important, the physics is important, but back then I never realized it. Right now, I realize it. I study the same stuff, much advanced than it was back then. But right now, I study it for some purpose, and that gives me some sort of satisfaction. So yeah, I was studying for JE, and like 1 month later, after taking the drop, I realized I can't do it. I don't have a mindset of studying the same stuff again. So I started studying. I started a company called Soppies, where you used to find the local vendors around. So Soppies started, and we used to we had a two models. So basically, one was that whatever products you need, you search it on our app, and it will provide you the exact location where it is available in your city, in your local vendors, the local retail stores, and you can just book it or order it. Now, when people used to order, we didn't have money to have a system where we can have the gig worker, the delivery worker who can deliver at your home. So we are going quite we didn't have money. We used to put it through our money. Even sometimes I delivered myself while managing it, so it was hell of a task. So I thought, let's just stop it and try to build a parallel system where one doesn't need people to deliver it. And then it started there. But at the same time, I was having a drop here. So my father was angry that I was not doing anything about JE. What will I do? So just before the exams of the JE mains, I appeared for it and somehow got it done and got a government college and came here. Came here means it was also a story. Like, I had options of going somewhere else also, but I saw, okay, I want to build a delivery system. So of course it won't be on road, because road is dangerous and you can't build a robot which will go. People will pick it up, so that will be dangerous. So I was like, okay, we can go for UAVs. I was fascinated by UAV. I used to use 4K like camera stuff. Like back in eighth, I had this fascinating habits of getting attached with movies, and I used to build documentaries in eighth standard. So that back then we used a small drone on a rental basis. So I had that idea that drone can fly in air picking something. So I had that idea, and then I revised it in delivery thing. So I was like, where to go? Like, I have cleared JMNs, but it is not as great as it was last time, so I won't get any good colleges. And somehow I stuck to this place, where at the Central University of Jammu, where I am right now. So I stuck to this place, and I saw that there is a ISRO center in it and DRDO center in it. And it was like, okay, this is something that I can say to my father. Look, wherever I'm going, there is a center of DRDO and ISRO, the two of the most prestigious institution in the country, as well as I'm getting the degree. Then I thought, okay, which degree I will pursue. There was only four degree: computer science, cyber security, electronics, and avionics. I was like, I'm into drones, so of course I'll go for avionics. And then I landed up here. So that was the story where I went, how I went. It was sort of a failure thing that pushed me here, but also sort of my this curiosity to build something which can uh, dismiss this problem of delivery things. So it was like that only. It is still sometimes embarrassing to tell my father that I felt that's why I got here. Like, if I had better option, I would have gone for IIST for the aerospace thing. Like, aerospace still fascinate me, but yeah, avionics is great right now. Like, I love this subject.
I think it. Firstly, I really believe that it isn't embarrassing at all. Like, you shouldn't be embarrassed of that story.
Yeah,
I,
I mean, go on, go on.
you lose before you actually lose, and you win before you actually win.
Yeah,
It's a lot of the outcome that realizes or materializes itself into reality gets formulated first in the mind. And it's your mindset plays a vital role in deciding what path you'll be able to pursue in the upcoming years of your life.
Yeah.
And you sticking up for something that you felt you had an interest or inclination towards, and not just in a very rudimentary sense, because sometimes people are like, okay, you know what, I'm fascinated by this, so this must be my calling. I'll compromise all other things about all other domains, all other facets of my life, my future. No, just short term infatuation that I have with this particular theme or subject, like this is it. But realizing that, okay, this is an avenue that I'm interested towards, I like doing this, and there is this path that I can carve out for myself in the future in this particular domain. And how do I do this? This is how I do that. And yeah, I mean, because I really believe your father might have seen that. कि, okay,
Uh-huh.
my son is not only infatuated by it, he has got a plan in his head how he would want to achieve it.
This is funny, but yeah, my father doesn't know about my startup yet.
Is it?
Yes, correct. He will just scold me like he wants me to pursue UPSC. You know the Bihari kid. I'm from Bihar, for your information, and
Oh
you know
my
this
god, right.
fascination
Huh.
of Bihari's father. Like you must do
Hmm.
UPSC. So he wants me to do UPSC, but yeah, I have started giving him hint that no, I'm not for that. I have something else
Hmm.
to do, and I will
Hmm.
do that. So I have also been
Okay.
revealed kid, so it won't be that disappointing for him.
I'm really excited to talk to you about this now. Mm, first of all, how did this journey of what has been the evolution of your startup? If you had to describe it, take your time, like give me the long version of the story. What has been
Oh.
your evolution with the startup? And because as somebody who has built it, you might really feel a sort of accountability about how you scale it and how you work towards pursuing an ambition that you built this startup for. So, talk to me how you started, the challenges you faced, how you were able to get in people with different skill sets and specific expertise to contribute towards this mission that you have.
Uh-huh. So, I mean, I started in 2021 with Soppies, and then I went for, I mean, no, sorry, 2020 in Soppies, and then 2021 with Vayu-G. Like Soppies doesn't operate anymore. I have halted it. I just pay taxes to it, nothing else. I will resume it once the Vayu-G is scaled up. So when I started, the biggest hurdle was my university, like how to get done with this attendance and all. Like this is a fun thing, but today only, like still I'm in university, and today only I got debarred from say exams. Like I can't sit for my exams because I have low attendance. You know this 75% things. So yeah, I was debarred today. So first thing was that how do you mitigate with that? So back then, I had some people in university with whom I had a good connection, so they used to help me out. But now, like most of them have gone, or most of them have been replaced by someone else in that authority. Like they are still, but they don't have that much power, so they can't help me anymore. And the new authorities have come, and I don't have time to spend time with them in university, so I don't make for that. So yeah, that's why I got divided. So one was the how to mitigate with it, like how to get the degree also, but at the same time do this also. And degree is not important for me, but degree is important for my father. He wants to say it. He wants to have a degree. He wants to come to my convocation and see me in gowns and all. So yeah, that was the first thing. But yeah, the real things comes when I wanted to build it. The first thing was fund. So one good thing was that when I raised for the my first startup, I had some funds. I mean, not funds, like we had to return funds when we closed it. I had some goods we bought when we were building it, like the chairs of the offices and the tables we sold it. We got some money, and then I started. doing some job at, like, first I went to this mechanic thing, like a car mechanic, and I spent a good amount of 3 months there. Got 24,000 in returns, 8,000 per month. So yeah, that's how I got some money. And then at the same time, I used to read books about the UAVs, like I mean the air, not UAVs. I usually prefer reading aircraft design than UAV. Like, there is no such a great learning resource about UAV right now. It is usually you take inspiration from the aircraft design because that is a mature industry, and then you try to put it in this UAV thing. So I tried to read that in those time, and then I conceptualized some drones that we will be building. So we were very sure about that we'll be getting into the logistic industry, though we have expanded our domain now. So we I started getting done that thing. Then I got to know that university has started, like our university is pretty new, and university didn't have incubation cell back then, but right now it have, but it doesn't have any, it's building yet, but it does function. So I'm the very first startup of my university also, so I got some appreciation for that, and that helped me in getting some funds. First, we got funds from the university, then from the J&K government, then from my own government of Bihar. And funding was not a big thing for me because I'm someone who can convince someone very easily. I'm someone, like, I come from a political family. Like, my father is not a politician, but he is a politician. It's like he's not some MLA or anything, but he has been someone who has been running some sort of thing where politics is involved. He's a government official, but in a village, every government official is a politician. So I know some politician tricks to do that, to navigate through the fundings, to convince someone how to get in your support. So I was good at it, at convincing someone, like how I'm good at it, how I can get it done. And then at the same time, I had some really good friend. One was, like, he was a friend in the ninth standard. He was senior than me, and he passed out, and then he started doing jobs in Andaman Nicobar. He helped me. He helped me in initial days. He was from the electronics things, electrical things. So he helped me in that, like conceptualizing and the simulating various aspect of things. And then I had some other friends. I mean, even in this university, I had some friends who helped me in building small things, like the one I told you about, building that escalator. So we used to have, like, we used to fix kills in it. It used to be in 1 meter of a span, you need to fix 50 kills. It used to take a long time. So my friends helped me in that. My friends were great at helping me, and also I was great at taking my friends in my side. So that helped me. Apart from that, I don't think I had much problem with it, except the attendance problem. I mean, every student who is trying to be entrepreneurs, the biggest problem is that how to go through the attendance things. Otherwise, if you're good at your job, there is nothing that can stop you. Funding is easy right now. I mean, of course, it was easy back then in 2020. It is hard right now compared to that time, but it is still easy. I mean, if you have the concept, if you have the product, specifically if you have the prototype, I mean, there are people who are just looking for it, like where to put their money. Everybody is looking for. I mean, I went to this startup conclave in J&K, and there were people coming to me, and they were like, can we invest with you? And like they were just approaching me. Usually, the founder or the promoter of the company goes to investor and look for money, but there are people who are coming to you like, can we do it? So like it was a, like, like money is not an issue. In fact, I'll tell you, there is this uncle nearby my university. He have this provisional store, and he saw a drone, and he was like, can we buy it? I mean, you can't sell drone to anyone, but he was like, take it in advance. Can we buy it for our goods so that we can get things from suppliers? So, I mean, money was never a problem for us. Money and customer was never a problem for us. We knew we have customers. Even if there was no one, I was the customer of my own drone. I will use it for this office delivery. I knew that. The validation was there, money was there, except the attendance thing and my parents' permission, of course. I mean, you if you are in your 20s, you need to have your parents. I mean, either you lie it or you hide it. Usually, I prefer to hide it. So yeah, that's the two problem that I faced. And apart from getting talented people there, it was usually this networking event. Like right now, I went to this Amravati drone conference thing. So there, I found many people and tried to poach few of them from other company also. So yeah, usually I go for the tech summit where I can find people out, find people. So yeah, that's the way I find people.
Okay, again, a few things to talk about here. What do you think is the significance of a degree in terms of how successful you can be in a particular domain? Especially,
Now,
let's talk about the technical domain, right?
if you are good at reading books, if you are good at typing things, don't go for a degree. If your parents allow it, don't go for a degree. It is complete waste of time. It will just bring you some discipline. Like yes, you have to wake up at 6 and go to university at 9 and then come back at 5, like the employee mindset that you need to have. That it will build a great, I mean, with a great course it will build that. But otherwise, yeah, communications skills also they do. Like you have bunch of people to meet and talk and convey your message there. You get a chance to improve your communications skill. But other than that, I don't think there is a need of degree. I mean, if I had the chance to not take a degree, I would have done that. I still think, but yeah,
I
you
I
just
also feel, yeah. Hmm.
uh I'm done.
So I also really feel that with everything that you do, you must always have a good reasoning behind it.
Uh-huh.
If I want to a, if I want to do a degree, why do I want to do a degree? Right?
Exactly.
Let's just say the general answer. I wanna be able to get a good job, quote unquote. Right? Okay. You want to get a good job, which is why you want to get a degree. Which degree do you want to get then? I want to get an engineering degree. Right. Why engineering? So and so response. Okay. Which branch? Because sometimes, okay, I think you'll agree to this. People sometimes compromise on what they want to do because of two things. First, they do not know themselves what they want to do. They are not clear with that vision of theirs. Like they lack that vision and the plan to justify their decisions towards that vision. And secondly, that they are simply willing to compromise upon their decision because they feel that the people around them will be judging them for that. Like you do not want to be the black sheep, right?
Uh-huh. Yes.
This sort of sense of conformity that I have to fit into the crowd. So I need to have have an engineering degree, and that too I have to have an engineering degree from an IIT. The
Yes.
numbers are continuously increasing. 13 lakh
Yes.
students are sitting for that, for giving the competitive exams. Why do you want to get into an IIT? I just want to. Life set है boss uske baad. That's the notion. That isn't how it works.
I mean, everybody
I mean,
knows the
look
life
at you.
set. Yeah.
हाँ, मतलब just think about it. You mentioned how your greatest challenge right now is what? How you'll be able to tell your parents about your startup, your business, and how how you have to mitigate with the attendance issue. Those are your two greatest issues right now as a person who's running his own company, who's being government funded by the government, and is able to just sustain a startup with over 20 plus people while he's doing his bachelor's.
Exactly.
It's again all about your vision and how
Yes.
you're able to justify your vision.
Now, sometime I feel like I should reveal. I should reveal, and I should just drop up my degree. But at the same time, I feel like somewhere down the line, you need some backup. It's not like a job backup. You need the side. You need your parents on your side. You need to have your parents on your side. You can't just abandon it. and neither let them abandon you. Yeah, I mean, you don't know where we will go in years or two. It is not about job, it is about your parents. I mean, one need to have a balance of everything. That's why I still continue my education. I try to get as good CGPA as I can get by studying a night before the exams. I was studying whole night yesterday for the exams. But yeah, I mean, I don't find any motivation to do my degree at this point of time. I don't see any
Hmm.
point in doing a degree. I mean, there is no point at all. I think one need to
Hmm.
have.
Hmm.
I mean, if I were decisive enough, even in that case, I would not have denied the degree. I would have to go for it because you need someone in back.
No, that's again being clear. Like, okay, you know what? I do not have to do this degree to build a career or become successful, but I am going to complete it because of whatever reason. I'm clear again to whatever extent in my head,
Exactly.
right?
Clarity is
But
like
okay,
important.
again, you talk, yes. Hmm.
Clarity is more important than anything else. If you don't have clarity, you won't go anywhere. You will just get
Precisely.
trapped somewhere. Do whatever the heck you want to get anything done, but you need to have a clarity. Like if you are doing something that support that stuff, and even it doesn't support that stuff, but it support your survival, you need to have that clarity that it is just for survival. It is nothing else. Like I can't cancel my business meeting or the investor meeting just because I'm having an exam. I cancel the exams. I'll go 1 year, I'll go for the re or something. But yeah, that clarity does help in deciding these things. Yeah, you had some question.
But again, there's the sort of the other side of the coin being, you are able to cancel your exams for your business meetings because you worked your ass off to get to the position where you are able to make that call.
Mm,
So
exactly.
like, if a college student watching this and they are sitting in their dorm room and they are thinking that, you know what, I'm gonna drop off my degree right now because two people on this podcast, they were talking about how a degree isn't worth to build a successful career. Do not do that. Take a
Please
deep
do it.
breath, calm down, think, make a plan, and well, in the long term, then take a decision with a
I mean,
calm brain and a peaceful heart.
at the end of the day, even your professor is a human being. If you show him some success, like, look, when I was absent here, I did something, okay, and it was not something where I was in bar or I was partying or I was doing anything else. I was doing something. So please grant me, like, please grant me exam in summer semester. Please grant me this wave of attendance or something. Usually it happens. Even right now, like I talked to my department professors, and they were like, "Ki, we'll try to have you in this summer semester. You won't have to go of 1 year ahead." So yeah, that's how it works. If you are if you have the gut to do something, people will help you, people will cooperate you. Of course they will have something personal against you, of course they will favor you also, but you will somehow manage it. I mean a great entrepreneur or great anyone who tried to build something, the best thing about, or the one most basic thing that they need to have is that they should know how to manage themselves. Managing yourself is the most important thing. Yeah.
You did touch upon a very brilliant thing that I think that we should talk about a little more. Tell me about your social life and what what, how, or to whatever extent you have to sacrifice the typical sense of a college life where you are hanging out, going into parties, and just chilling. Like, talk to me about that.
Well, I haven't been to any of the parties that university hosts, like the freshers meet or the farewell or the tech fest or the cultural fest or the this dandiya night kind of thing, the every festival. I haven't been to any of them, so I don't get to meet new kind of people here. I get to meet in a way like where I am the host of the event. Like if my company is hosting some event, then only I get to meet people. Otherwise, no, I don't have people. I still have the friend group which I had in the first year. I don't know anyone. Like a new batch came up, and a professor introduced me to them, and I don't know any one of them. I mean, that's like usually you don't get to do that. That's what seniors do. But I mean, that's a perk, and that is a perk. I'll say that I don't get to meet new people in the university. I usually meet people who are like who are in my arena. I mean, that's the place only where I work. Like once I was having this discussion, no, we have discussion about girlfriends and boyfriend, and I was like saying, "Okay, look, I won't be able to find a girlfriend because I'm not someone who will find a girlfriend in the work arena. Like I won't find someone who is interested in arena. I want to have someone who is into biotech or who is into this literature or something. But the work I do or the way my life is, I won't be able to ever meet someone like that because I won't get time to do that. At least in the next 10 years, something. I mean, that's something that utopian sort of things or dystopian sort of things. I will get to meet someone that can be done. That's not a big thing. But yeah, the life has been like that. That I don't get to meet anyone apart from my work arena. Yeah, I don't go to university much. That's why my attendance is low. So even meeting my classmate is tough right now.
No, it's really like how you are choosing which social gatherings you're consciously choosing and building your social life. It isn't that your social life is non-existent, but it's
No, no,
just
no.
different from most
Yes,
people of your age.
yes. Most
Like
people
you are
around me,
going
yes,
to yeah, you said you go to conclaves and conferences and all those stuff. Those are social events, and you get to
yes,
meet individuals, but probably
yes,
individuals who are aligned to the sort of life that you are living. Like they themselves are focused to whatever degree on doing something that you are doing, entrepreneurship,
yes.
building a
And
business,
usually,
or maybe
usually,
even from your field.
yes, and usually they are not of your age. They're not of your age of. They're not of your age group. Like you are the very first or second person I have been meeting who is of my age group. Otherwise, I usually don't find anyone who is of my age group, except when I'm in Bangalore, where school kids are doing something phenomenal. Bangalore is great with that. Yeah. So yeah, that's also a
No,
thing. Like
likewise. I mean, you yourself are the first person that I have around my age on the podcast where we are talking about things of these wavelengths, these frequencies. Talking about entrepreneurship, building a business, and then drones, the cutting edge science and technology, all those stuff. And you did very wonderfully mention it. It really isn't about it. Okay, tell me this. Do you regret not being able to go to these cultural fests or being part of these social groups or parties? Like, is it something that you feel a little remorse for?
no, no, I'm very egoistic person. I mean, let me confess this. I'm very egoistic person. I try to stay away from people of my age group, and I find it very comforting and very, like I'm someone who is not indulging in those activities. I have something to do, and I find it great motivation to do it more often. So I have no regrets regarding that. Like I like it way too much. I like it when someone says that you
Hmm.
don't come to this event, you didn't come to this event, and I'm like, yeah, because I have some work to do. I'm like you. So I mean, I'm sort of like kind of egoistic person, but I don't hate anyone. I love all of them whenever they ask me. It is just that I like it when I'm not in events where it doesn't make sense. Like I do go to party. I myself host party, and like I do whatever they do in party and all. But it is just that it is a different set of people where I also have some sort of conversation that I am having with you, where we are discussing things where we are trying to bring something out in the public domain, out in the creative plate, out in our boardroom. So I like that thing. I mean, I don't want to have somewhere where I'll be just standing or people are forcing me to dance. I mean, I can dance, that's not a problem, but I can't dance here. That's the thing.
Right, precisely. It it isn't something you regret, because what you are doing in doing that is maybe more fulfilling to you.
Yes, that's the thing.
You talked about how you've got good persuasive skills, right?
Yes.
Tell me a little about it. What, for a budding entrepreneur or somebody who's starting their own venture, or in general, what do you think are the key markers or things to remember to be a better negotiator, or somebody who can persuade people and come to a good and beneficial resolution?
I mean, there are two requirements. One is that you need to have something in yourself. I mean, you can't fake anything. You can't go and look, I'm doing this, and you are not doing this. If you're trying to fake something, I mean, you might succeed once or twice, but it won't go long. So you need to have something. That is must. Second is that you need to create something called this lack of something, like if you're trying to convince anyone something, like, so I mean, I'm trying to convince that I need orange juice, and you are someone who is distracted by so many things, you are listening to many things, like you are on party, we are in party, and I want to have juice, and I told you, can you give me some water? And when I say that, can you give me some water, you won't give that importance to it, but somehow you will hear me. And then if I say, no, no, leave it, this no will create a doubt in your mind when I'm telling you, and then I can say, I want to have some orange juice, then you will surely remember it, that I want to have some he want to have some orange juice. So in that way you created some sort of doubt. That was the lag there. So when you try to persuade investor or something, you try to make something. Don't say ki there is nothing like this in market, or it is there but it is not on that scale or something. Don't say that. Those are very, I mean, no stuff to say. You need to. I'll tell you a story about my very first pitch I did. I was in university. That was my very first pitch, and university is in one of the, the criminal hotspot of the J&K, where this drug activities is way too much. So when you order some food after 9 p.m. from Zomato or Swiggy and all, they won't come to you, because what they do, like the people who takes drug, is that they don't have much money to buy drugs. So what they do is, whoever is on that road where they're doing, actually there are this stuff. So this delivery guy try to avoid those roads. Like, they either deny your order, they will come via some other road. So after 9 p.m. they used to deny our orders. So what I try to do is, like, it was not a scenario actually. There is nothing like this that happened back in the time. I mean, right now, whatever I told you, there is nothing real in it. Nothing like that was happening. There was no Zomato or Swiggy delivery service in that area ever. Like, it never existed there. And I told this story when I was pitching. Like, look, there is this problem that usually delivery comes in the night. Usually delivery comes in the day only, and in nights there is no such delivery. There was a food delivery system, but there was no Zomato or Swiggy. There was some local vendors who were supplying the foods and all. I tried to relate with the Zomato and Swiggy, and then told them, okay, when I order at night, they don't come, because there is this road where this people who consume drugs are there, and they try to snatch the people or snatch the delivery guy. That's why they don't come. That's why I want to have a drone. That was the one thing that hooked up on them, and that was the first thing that granted me this fund. So, you need to connect it. You need to have some story. Even if you're not a great storyteller, you need to have some story to tell. I mean, it is not like, okay, you need to have this great articulations to tell it, because I don't have a great articulations, to be fair. I don't have a great articulation, but I do have a story, and I'll tell it in a very polite way that will connect with you, and then I try to make it a point there. So that was the one point where I used this sort of skills. And I usually try to create a story. I try to create lack of something, and then try to fit my idea into it. That's how I do it. Apart from that, I mean, I I personally feel what I'm doing right now is that not doing, actually I'm planning to do is the trying to master the art of this articulations. I think if I have that, I'll be great at whatever I need to be, the entrepreneur. I need, if I have the master of articulation, I'll be great at it. So I'm trying to master that. I mean, every new entrepreneur must have this, that communication is skill. Basic communication skill will work, but you need, if you can better it, like if you can have a, articulation skills like uh, the advocates, then it will be great. So yeah, communication skill is the best. Another thing is that you need to have this mindset where you will be doing things that no one is willing to do it. Like no one is in your team willing to do things on Excel or a PowerPoint or a presentation or something. You need to have that willingness to do it. Like if there is no one to do it, you will be doing it, no matter what kind of job it is. Even if it is about cleaning your office space, you need to do it. These are the
Yeah,
two things that.
just go that extra mile.
Yes.
And also with that storytelling aspect, for those who think that uh, we are talking about lying, we aren't talking about lying. Those problems, they are real problems. You
Yes.
are
It is
just
just you are
conveying them in a
connecting the
manner
dots.
which yes, you're just finding a way in which those people, those investors, they are able to connect to this problem,
Yes.
and you are doing that by giving it a more personal touch.
Yes. Exactly. I mean, those
But
elements are there. You are just
yeah,
connecting it. Those
yes.
elements are there.
And
You are just connecting.
in addition to that, tell me about the ethical and regulatory implications of drones. What is the current framework in regard to it,
Yeah, oh, I mean,
the
it
legal
is
and
going
the
good right now. It is going
Mhm.
great right now. Like just few, last month only, I guess. No, I mean in August they do released this documentation by this Ministry of Aviation that they will be creating vertiports, like where this you know what- vertical takeoff landing drones can land in the cities, and they will be creating many of it, like throughout the India. So that is one thing that is really motivating to us, because we are also trying to build drones for these personal uses, and that will be of great help. Not all apart from that, I mean, there is nothing that is obstructing uh, from the government. It is basically there is just too much of work. Like if you try to get a license for a Vitol drone, which carries weight more than 20 kg, you'll need to get done with so many things. Like first, like specifically in the areas like the JNK, where you need to have a permission from these cantonments. There are just too many cantonments here. Then you need to have a local permission. Then you need to have this state permission. Then you also need to have a DGCA permission. Apart from that, that is the permission to fly. Apart from flying, you need to have a permission like certification designs, sorry, certificate of design. Then you will have to have the this material you are using, the components you are getting from which country, that's also matter, the grade of this components. This all matters in your this approval. Then when you do all this, you need to have a license for each and every drone category of yours. I mean, flying is another thing. Whatever you are building, you need license for that also. So it is like it is just too many things. And now when all of this happen, you can't fly a bunch of drone together. Like you can fly one drone, two drone, but when you try to congest a airspace, you need to have something called UTM that uh, I am vouching for. If we can have that system, like UTM is the one of the biggest problem, not biggest solution of all this drone regulation. If we can bring UTM in the market, this all will go away. But how to bring that? That is like that is a hell of a task, because you need to create infrastructure. If we can do it without infrastructure, it will be great. But I like where I am trying to work is that it should be infrastructure less, like where it will detect a, I mean, every drone maker has to install a chip on it, and then it will track it down. But it will be tracked down by the every government agency, be it army, be it police, be it civil aviation, anyone who is responsible for the safety of airspace, they can track it down in public domain, and then drone can fly. But at the same time, what I find is that, okay, you are tracking whatever drones are flying by the authorized company, but what about those drones which are not authorized? How will you detect it? Then you need to have multiple sort of radar, and even in radar you need to have precise radar. That is where I'm stuck right now, like how to build something which is cheap, which can track down drones and give information about it. If we can do that, so like look, if you're trying to detect unauthorized drones, not by saying it, but by just putting something, some machines in air, and they're detecting it, and then you are trying to overlap with the what you have is the UTM, and then you will find that these are the verified drones and these are not the verified drone, which need to be shot down or whatever you want to do with that. If that can be done, then it will be all okay with it. Otherwise, as long as those small and nano drones are there in the market and they're flying and you are not able to detect it, I think it will be a hurdle to get license for a mass flying, like for a food delivery sort of thing. It will be a problem. So I'm trying to get, like I've been working on it since 2023 June to get something in regulation, like me and there is a two professor from the IST in Trivandrum, and we are trying to framework some policy which can regulate it, and it will take time, like 2 or 3 years more, and then only we can get somewhere. Till then we'll be doing cargo things only for the intercity. For intracity we need to level up our this traffic management thing. Otherwise, I mean, public safety is the paramount. You can't compromise with that. So yeah, that's the thing. Biggest thing is the trafficking of
Okay,
it.
yes, two other aspects of this. You did mention at the very start of this conversation about how China is probably the best contender in this domain.
Yeah.
Tell me about how are they tackling these challenges, and how far are we actually from getting to that stage of becoming a major competition at the global scale?
Okay, they are at some advantages. I mean, they are not into food delivery or something right now, yes, but they are into cargo thing and they are doing great. Like they have this UAV which can carry 4 ton, 5 ton at once, and they are cheap, like 2.5 rupees per mile they can deliver. So they are very cheap and they are using it. Uh, how they are using it is that most of their population lies in the region where there is no enemy. For a country like India, where you are surrounded by enemies, like where I live, this I mean, yeah, like when we read newspapers, we find out that there was a drone every other day supplying drugs, supplying ammunition, supplying very, very short of things. So that one is the advantage there, that the most of their operation lies in the region where there is no enemy around them. Apart from that, what India needs to do in order to grow in this industry is that it needs to have something called a lab procurement system easy. Like R&D is tough in India right now. Also that India needs to subsidize the R&D. Like we need to have this tax incentive where if a company is taxed with amount of 20,000 crore, suppose, and if they are spending 20,000 rupees in R&D, okay, then please cancel the tax, because R&D is for the greater good. It might not show up in 1 year, it might not show up in 5 years, but it will show up in 20 or 40 years. So that is the one thing where India needs to step up, that they need to incentivize R&D, not just in UAV industry, in the all other industry, all the S&T, science and technology things. India needs to do that. Other than that, this lab thing, like wherever I live, there is I mean, hardly I find any lab which is helpful for me. Like I didn't have 3D printer back then, so I used to get it printed from Delhi. That's like 600 kilometers from here, overnight bus one need to take. So that sort of problem is there. So India needs to have this chain of government lab which is expert. this center in Hyderabad, T Hub. I love that place. T Hub is the best place in India for anyone who is building something. Like you get everything in one roof and you get it done there. Like if you want to have prototype, you just need to have some sort of money. You will go there. They have everything. They will help you. Even the experts are there, and they will help you at every step you want. And those kind of systems needs to be installed in every corner of India. That is about building anything. Coming to these specific drones, what India needs to do is that get away with just agriculture drone. India is just too obsessed with agricultural drones. They don't see beyond agricultural drones. They see drones something remotely piloted. I mean, just get done with that. Okay, it is good that you are doing this in the agricultural sector, but I personally find it very absurd that drone is very much helpful to the agriculture arena. Like India is not a country like USA where one person has this huge mass of land. Like if you go to Bihar or any part of the northeast, I mean what I call Bihar is northeast because we are not actually a northern country. We do lie in northeast, but we have some fragmented parts there. That is seven sisters. That's why we can't be called northeast, but we do lie in northeast. So if you go in Bihar, nobody owns a land more than a 5 acre or something. It is just fragmented into too many pieces. And if you want to have a drone of 8 or 10 lakh to spread this pesticides over 1 acre, it is of no use. 1 acre can be spread by a man in a day. So it is of no use. It is useful in like few pieces of land in Punjab or say Maharashtra or Andhra, but still it is not something that is like where India should go, like obsessed over it. Like India just had this program where drone Didi something called, where they are training drone pilots, the women, they're training them as a drone pilot, and they will be used in agricultural fields. Good for the publicity. Good for this stunt that okay, we are one of the best country where drone industry is advancing. But I don't see drone as I mean something that is very much useful to the drone agriculture industry, specifically this crops industry. I do see it in fruits and horticulture and the this vegetables kind of thing, but not in this crops things. I mean, yes, of course, if we can integrate some great robotics in it, the great robotics and drones where we can install some arms in it, and it still be the power efficient, then it will be great for that. But other than that, I see the most beautiful and the most the important sector of drone is that construction and the logistic. And of course the space industry is another thing to discuss about. The space industry is going to be like right now drone is not going to help you very much in a space industry, but once when all of the players in this drone industry were trying to go somewhere and colonize some place where they are trying to go somewhere and find out some mines or explore some asteroids. Once they are there, then the drone will come to their their job. Their drone will be used mostly to to mine precisely, to mine to transport things to this ship. Like where they are mining to the ship, their drones will be used mostly. So still in order, I'll say logistic, construction, and this space things. These are the three things where India needs to focus in the drone industry. And with a precision robotics, agriculture with a precision robotics will be a helpful thing, and it will be the fourth thing to discuss about. I still feel the logistic is the best case scenario for a UAV to operate in. It is like logistic is of course everybody knows about it. Logistics is the backbone of any economy, and if you can put drones in it, it will be a great deal. Yeah. So I don't know what I
Also talk
rattled
to me
off.
about its app.
Uh-huh.
No, it was insightful. It really was insightful. I only asked you about the a very niche question, but you actually were able to explain the inevitable permeation of drone technology into multiple sectors and
Uh-huh.
categorize them in terms of their priority in
Yes.
the near future. So that was really good. But one specific thing that I would like to talk to you about would be its application or its inculcation in the defense sector, the or its importance or role that will play in warfare in general. Because we
Hmm.
saw in Ukraine and Russia
Yes.
conflict, and even with Israel and Palestinian conflict,
Yes.
drone technology has been utilized to its fullest potential. Where do you
Hmm.
see it growing in the coming years?
Well, the nuclear powered submarine was the one of the greatest discovery in the modern, like last 50 years of our this warfare. Nuclear submarine was one of the best thing to happen to deter any attack or something. Right now, drone is playing that role. It is cheap. It is easy to be made, specifically for the drone purpose. It is very easy to be made, and I mean, any country can afford it. Of course, drone is not that expensive, so, due to these two reasons, and it doesn't need any big infrastructure to set up. The drone doesn't need any big infrastructure to operate. So these three things makes it very important for the defense sector. But since I am not someone who has been into defense industry much, but I do realize its potential in it. But I mean, as an entrepreneur, you need to be very narrow down to your field. I can't just go into every places. Like I can do logistic, I can do defense, I can do agriculture. I can't do everything. That's why I didn't touch it. But yes, defense I forgot. It is very much important, and the most important aspect in all of it is to destroy a missile. Drone can be used to destroy a missile. Suppose $1 million missile is coming towards you, and you just distract it via a drone. I mean, the UAV. You can distract it, you can destroy it. If you can do that via a drone of 10 lakh or 20 lakh rupees, it's just great. I mean, you are destroying something worth of million just by I mean bucks, I mean some few bucks. I mean, one of this, I mean, there is this great project going on via the NACDAC. NACDAC is a competition by Aeronautical Society of India, where they have given this challenge to build a supersonic or supersonic drone, which can be used to do something sort of this. Like they can carry four missiles. I mean, the drone can carry four missiles with itself, and then whenever there is an attack, whenever a missile is being launched towards any country, I mean specifically towards our country, because that's a Indian society, so it is based on that only. Then like if a missile is being launched, our drone will launch from here with a four missile of 250 kg each, and then it will be supersonic at its speed, and it will leave the missile at the point where the missiles are coming, the trajectory of the missile, and these two missile will, like whatever that is, 1,000 kg missile or 2,000 kg missile, will collide with this 250 kg missiles, and it will get destroyed. So it is one of the most crucial thing. I mean, this Iron Dome thing that you hear in Israel, that if we put it somewhere, like detection on land, and the neutralization in air. The neutralization in air, the best way it can be done is via drones. I mean, you can launch it via ground, but if you do it in air, it will be great. Like, of course, it will be destroyed in air, but if something that can operate in air, if we can operate in air, and there only it can launch it, then it will be great. So yeah, I mean, that is one of the key aspect in the defense industry where drones can be used. Apart from attacking and doing this precise assassination or something like that, apart from that, this is the key area where it can work. Like rest are the pre-war era where you use drones as a tool to kill someone in a pre-war era, but I mean pre-war time. But when you are in war, this is the key aspect of it, where you can destroy the missiles or where you can destroy the infrastructure of your opponent. So, yeah, it is a great industry, but yeah, I haven't. I'm not into that field actually.
What about swarm technology in
Yes.
drones? Um, what are the key characteristics of it in terms of its utility and in what all practical facets could it be useful?
Uh-huh, uh-huh. So Schwarm, as I talked about, deterring something, like something that is big on your way. Suppose something is being fired at you. A swarm, this missiles detects via SAPE also, via radar technology, sonar technology. They send signals and they do mapping of the aircraft. So swarm technology is being used there, like they are on trial, where small drones can form a constellations of a shape, and that shape will give a fake scenario of a big aircraft that is being used by the formula military. Like suppose a fight between A and B is going on, and B has attacked, and A is trying to fake up a target, the aircraft they are trying to fake. They can use it via swarms of drone. They can make safe, and they can distract and neutralize it. One is that. Other is that, of course, this lightning and all happen for the entertainment purpose, for this uh, grant of the any event that is being done by swarms. Apart from that, swarm is something that can help you in disaster, in providing communication in remote areas. Swarm drones will help you create a topology, various kind of topology. And it is easy to, since the swarms are usually small drones, and it is easy to deploy, and then it is easy to also to form this formations of drones. So yeah, it can be used in disaster sort of thing. For the communications, it can be used in this faking targets in the war arena. And other than that, events, like I'm making an events grant, that is the three thing that I see the swarms in used, any use actually. I mean, these all are in practice. Like this, making any event grant is in practice. You must have seen bot lab dynamics is the master in it. They are the one who do it usually. Yeah.
What would be your
Also, I forgot a
advice?
point actually.
Yeah. Hmm.
I forgot a point actually. Swarm can also be used in in a place like ocean, where there is no access to the, what do you say, there is no infrastructural access. Like, when a bird fly, it flies, a bird fly individually, it doesn't go much longer in its range. But when it fly in constellation, it does fly in a way that it can counter the, what do you call it, the disturbance of the year, and go much longer in range. In that way, if you are in ocean and trying to surveillance the area, you can use drone. And then for the power shot of thing, like suppose you are using one drone intensively, but you need to, that drone is going less in power, you can distribute the work and then do that a specific thing. And that will be done by only one drone. Like, look, there is a 10 drone in swarms, okay, and the work has been separated, but that 10 swarm, the swarms is one drone. That whole swarm is one drone, consists of 10 drones. So basically, when you fly a big, what do you call it, predator or something for the surveillance, it is a big drone. It can be caught and all. But where 10 drones can make one predator, and it will be still a small, and it can fly longer with much less power. And all 10 drone will do a specific work. It doesn't need to do some same set of work. And then it can get up onto one drone, which is little bit heavier than other drone, which can process some data, and then it will send back to your ground station. So yeah, swarm drone can work great in surveillance in a place where there is no infrastructure, where there need to be a shared sort of a system, where one can be power efficient, and the computational capacity should be, the computational capacity is required.
Also, this made me think about what are the current energy requirements and the energy sources that we are using for these drones, and what are the areas that we can improve on with regard to these energy sources.
Uh-huh. So, energy, usually this lithium polymer battery is in use right now, but there are few company which has taken this lead in installing hydrogen engine in drone. Hydrogen battery, hydrogen fuel cell to be specific. You can't call it an engine. Actually, it is not engine actually, but yeah, hydrogen fuel cell is in advanced. It is an advanced source of energy that can be utilized for drones. It will make go drone in for longer in a range, but yeah, still it can't be used for smaller drones. It will only be used for the cargo sort of drones. Like one company that I can remember, which I'm very fascinated about, like the only company in India which I consider as a real drone company, I mean real UAV company, is that Blue Jay Aerospace. I consider they are the only company who are doing real work, who are actually building a stuff, not just not just using some screwdriver and assembling things and supplying it. Usually, most of these companies do. Blue Aerospace actually do some innovation, and they have built one drone UAV, which is hydrogen powered, and I admire them. I adore them. They are best at it, and I think hydrogen is one of those key areas where energy source will be diverted into. I mean the me or any other person who is into drone industry will always be keen on developing something like that. We have a set of two people who are working on that, to get hydrogen into our drone. But right now we are using lithium polymer. Of course, so there are other battery sources which is in nascent stage, like sodium batteries. There, I mean, there lithium sulfate is there. There are many options which people are trying, but still lithium is at its core of all of it.
I mean, hydrogen fuel cells. This as the entire technology actually. Hydrogen fuel in general is also not only, besides being effective and cost effective and efficient in terms of performance, it also covers that area of sustainability,
Yes, it does. It
right?
does.
It's like to a very large degree.
Yes. Uh, you know, I mean, hydrogen is the future. I believe so. I hope nothing happened with it. I believe hydrogen is the future. I mean, right now it is quite hard to go with hydrogen because there is not much availability of it. I mean, as far as I know, there is only one center in India which is actually manufacturing it. That is ONGC Guwahati, I guess, or Indian Oil Guwahati, maybe. I don't remember, but. Uh, Karnataka government has spent well in it, invested well in it, and I guess if we are able to bring down the cost by like of what it is right now, like if even if five of it divided by five of it, it will be a great tool to sustainable future. Like even the electric won't last, so we need to have some alternatives, and hydrogen will be a great alternatives. But
Yeah, just
yeah,
with
one need to
time.
focus on green hydrogen. One need to
Hmm,
focus on green hydrogen. It should not be something that you are sourcing out of coal or something. It need to be a green hydrogen. That is important.
correct. With time, you just need to make it more cost effective and scale it down a bit so that you can
Yeah.
use it for small drones, as you also talked about.
Yes,
But
yes.
okay, what would be your advice in general for younger people, or young people in general, the youth?
Uh, I mean, if you have something to do, just if you have something to do, just get it done. That should be in your mindset. Getting things done is the most important thing. Apart from that, always look for something. Like just don't be don't go in the safe word, like where people are going like, okay, I'll get degree, I'll get job, then I'll figure out what I'll have to do. Or I mean, just try to look for your own things. It is not like job is bad thing, but I believe job is not something that is going to last. I mean, with the arrival of AI and all, job is not something to last. Human needs to have something called, the managerial task. You just can't keep on doing coding and all coding. I mean, it is AI is not just about coding. Even many of this task, like building something, is also a part of it. Where I mean, cutting a rod or something, it is still a AI thing, and job won't be something that will fulfill it. Job wants to be something that will be sustainable. Everybody needs to be entrepreneur in the coming years. That I believe. I mean, if you are not entrepreneur in the coming years, you are uh, nowhere near having a good life or having a good sense of satisfaction in yourself. You need to be an entrepreneur in the coming years. So yeah,
It
getting
goes
things
back
done
to
and
what we were talking about.
uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, say carry on.
No, please continue. I'm sorry. Right.
No, I forgot what I wanted to. So please carry on.
Yeah. I'm saying it again goes back to how we were in the initial phase of the conversation talking about being intentional and having a reasoning, proper, solid reasoning behind what you want to do.
Yes. I mean, the I mean, I believe I mean, even sometimes if you don't have much reasoning and you are you are not having something to do, just do something that you love. Just do something that you feel something about it. It should not be always like instinct is greater than any logic at this age. I believe. Like if you have some instinct about something, just go for it. Just do it. Don't think about it much. I mean, logic still does play a role where you will have something to lose, but if you don't have something to lose, just grab on your instinct and do something. Just don't be vella and don't think that something will come upon you. Nothing will come upon you. You will have to reach there. So yeah, that's important that you find out something to do, even if it is not something that can last long. If it gives you some sense of fulfillment, do it, because whatever you do, you will have learning. And even if you do a small project in your college time, and if you do it successfully, or if you are failing at it, you'll somehow get to know that how projects are done, how you'll have to specify things, and how you'll have to execute something. You'll get a sense of it. Even if you fail at it, you'll like, get a sense of getting things done. So that's important that you do something. Like one of the greatest learning I had in my life was that building making film I mean doing filmmaking when I was in 8th standard. Like we were messy. We used to have a messy story with ourselves. We used to have a camcorder. We used to bring some people from our school, and we used to tell them to do this. I mean, it was all sort of mess. And then we used to realize, okay, we can do this way also. So these are the findings that usually you will get only when you will do something. It is not something that you will get on paper. It is not something that you will get on watching news or watching movies or watching documentary. It is something that you will get when you will do something. So that's important that you do something.
Most definitely. I'm a firm believer about that. Have projects that you are working on consciously and deliberately towards completing. It's
Yes.
very important. It builds your skill set, and moreover, it makes you realize, as you said, sometimes even if you do not know what you want to do something that you feel like you should be doing. You at least, even if you do not love that thing, you'll realize, okay, this might not be for me. I can move on to another thing.
Yes. And at the same time, there is one more thing that is important for people who are in my age or our age, is that whatever you start, please try to finish it. That is one discipline that you must have. Please try to finish whatever you have started. That is the best discipline to have. If you have that, you will be great at whatever you will do.
Very true. And I think this is actually a very prominent problem with people of our age. They
Yes.
leave things too quickly because of the lack of tangible or visible results. But more often than not, people tend to forget that generating significant results requires time.
Yes, it does. I mean, it does lie with people that they told that like. I mean, that's the problem that our age actually lacks. That like they can't see in a long run. They usually see like this. It's just like watching Instagram reels or a YouTube short where you need instant gratification about everything you do. Like even if you are just trying to solve a question, a mathematics question, you will solve a single step and you will think like, okay, I didn't get the result, let's leave it. That's not how it happens. It might happen like you'll use 40 pages of it, and it might happen you'll get it done in one pages. But just keep on doing it until it is finished. Even if you get the wrong answer, at least you will know some process. Yeah.
Now, probably going into the final segment of the show, there's a little tradition that we do as the final part of the episode. Mr. Amritash, what is your word to humanity at large?
Be empathetic. Don't lose like this human in humanity. Like, it is important that whatever you do, whatever tech you build, whatever, I mean, no matter what height of technological advancement you achieve, just try to be as human as you can be. It is important. Try to show up for the people who expect you to be there for you. Try to show up as much as you can, as much as it is possible. Try to do that. I mean, no matter what we do, at the end we'll stay human, and we'll have to be someone who can form relationship, who can build relations, and who can keep on it. Yeah, that's the thing.
Mr. Amritansh Bharti, thank you so very much. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so very
Thank
much.
you for having me over there. I hope we get to meet soon, like whenever you are in Delhi or Jammu.
Definitely. Yes, yes.